What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today, we got two exciting new rebalances on some champions that absolutely see no play for basically anybody's account. Now, first up, you guys see on screen right now, Vergumkaar actually is going to get another update. He's already had one a couple years ago. Now, Vergumkaar is always going to have a special place in my heart because he's actually the first fusion that I saw happen from start to finish. So that's about when I started raid. I started near the end of the Krila fusion, and then Vergumkaar was the first fusion that I saw from the beginning. And it's kind of interesting because as a brand new player, when you see a champion like this, I was like, wow, this champion looks kind of ugly. Why is this champion a thing? Well, the thing with Plarium is that they sold Vergumkaar as the Doom Tower answer. Like, I don't know why, but people were hypothesizing that Vergumkaar was going to be really good in Doom Tower. This was before Doom Tower was released. Just a little bit of a story for you guys. But anyways, Vergumkaar gets another buff here. Let's see if the buff's actually any good. So first up, we got the A1. The A1 chance to stun is going up from 35% to 40%, guys. That's absolutely nothing. So that's a nothing buff. He has plus 10% from books, so that's going to go up to 50% chance to stun, which I mean is okay. He also is going to get a buff from 15% to 25% increase in the chance to stun if there's at least one buff on the target. So again, that's going to push him up to 75% chance to stun. Again, it's nothing significant. Honestly, I don't know why Plarium is so scared to give like sizable buffs for these champions, especially since they already updated this champion and he's still absolute nothing. He's nothing. Let's see the rest of his kit. His A2 now is going to be a proper 3-turn full team cleanse. Previously, just removing provokes and one random debuff. Obviously, that is like epic level skill. So now it's going to be a full team cleanse. That's a good update. He's also placing increased defense and a shield equal to 30% of his max HP on the entire team. So that is a sizable buff to his A2. Now his A2 is actually pretty solid, right? It's a 3-turn team cleanse, increased defense with a good shield. 30% of his HP is solid. He comes in here with 22k base HP, which is really nice. So A2 looking really, really good. Let's move on to his A3. His A3 is going to now be a proper full enemy strip. So it's going to be a 3-turn full enemy strip with a 100% chance of landing heal reduction and decrease defense on a 3-turn cooldown. This is actually a pretty significant buff, going from removing one random buff to now full all buffs. So these are sizable upgrades for Vergumkaar. Really loving the A2, really loving the A3. The A1 we can totally forget about, but the A2 and A3 definitely got significant upgrades. Full team cleanse, full enemy buffs, love it. Lastly, his passive gets a little bit of a buff here too. He goes from immune to provokes only to now immune to provokes and stuns. Great. He gets a turn meter fill, slightly bigger than previously when anyone attempts to place provoke or stun on him. And he's also going to gain turn meter if any of your allies get stunned or provoked as well. So very nice passive. I mean, it's just a solid upgrade for it. Not overpowered or anything like that, but a good upgrade for his passive. And actually, the last part of it is that his stats go from 99 speed to 104 base speed. So his base speed goes up by +5. I think that's solid. This kit, absolutely amazing now. Not broken or anything like that, but totally a serviceable champion. 104 base speed, full team cleanse, full enemy strip with a decreased defense, with a heal reduction. Has a little bit of crowd control immunity as well. So looking really, really good. Definitely usable now. He also comes in with his standard resistance in all battles by 55. A little bit on the low side, to be honest, but it is what it is. Would have liked to see maybe like an accuracy here, but I think this buff is significant. Definitely worth taking out of the vault and using this champion as a general support. A2, A3 on a 3-turn cooldown. Good survivability, and then good utility with the decreased defense. I like it. It's a solid buff. Not overwhelming, but very solid. All right, guys. So the next champion that's getting a balance change is Danag Skullreap here. This champion is absolutely dog crap. I've only used this champion maybe once as a filler 60 for once in Trano stage. And honestly, I just put gear on him and then just let him soak up some damage for the rest of my team. But hey, we got a pretty sizable update here for his whole kit. So let's give him a read through. He's supposed to be a damage dealer with a little bit of reliance on accuracy and places some crowd control. But it looks like his kit got a little bit of an update here. Let's have a look. So first up is A1 places decreased defense. It cannot be resisted if this champion's crit damage is higher than the target's. He's a damage dealer, so most likely it will be higher. So it means you have an irresistible decreased defense on the A1. The debuff cannot be blocked or resisted if it's part of the certain High Elves faction, Dark Elves, Sylvan Watchers faction. So those three factions he really hates. So he's going to gain some additional benefits, but it's not super significant. It's just that they can't be blocked. So block debuffs won't work against the decreased defense. Also, a multiplier increase, or actually just changed. I assume it increased, but it just says changed on the A1. The A2 is still an AoE attack, has a 100% chance of placing decreased accuracy and true fear. The debuffs cannot be resisted if this champion's crit damage is higher than the target's. Again, very likely to happen. He's a damage dealer. And then against High Elves, Dark Elves, Sylvan Watchers, they can't be blocked as well as resisted. And then damage multiplier changed. So he's got an AoE attack with guaranteed decreased accuracy and true fear without accuracy requirements. Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully the multipliers are interesting. And then the A3 here, as a single target attack before attacking, places increased crit damage on himself. He will ignore shields, unkillable, strengthen, as well as 20% of the target's defense. Will ignore 40% of the target's defense if the target is from High Elves, Dark Elves, Sylvan Watchers. Fills the champion's turn by 50% and resets the cooldown of this skill if it kills an enemy. Otherwise, this ability is on a 4-turn cooldown. It's a pretty big ability after the update. So previously it was really bad. It only ignored shields only, and there was no crit damage boost. There was no ignore defense boost. You would only get the turn meter fill and the increased crit damage if he killed somebody. So the update actually is pretty significant. He ignores unkillable, strengthen, as well as ignore defense. The turn meter boost is larger. The crit damage happens before the attack. So these are pretty significant updates. And of course, he gains some additional benefit here for the High Elves, Dark Elves, and Sylvan Watchers group. Lastly, let's check out the passive here to get a bit of a boost. Counterattacks whenever this champion is attacked by an enemy from the High Elves, Dark Elves, or Sylvan Watchers. Okay, so a little bit of an additional hate towards the High Elves, Dark Elves, and Sylvan Watchers. Not too much of an update to the passive. Now, a little bit of stat note here. They said that on the 6-star ascension, this champion's accuracy relocates to resistance. So I asked, sorry, not myself specifically, but it was asked, what does this actually mean? Basically, he gets an accuracy boost when you 6-star ascend him. Now, instead of getting the accuracy, he will get resistance instead, mainly because they, changed his kit so that he does not rely on accuracy anymore. So giving the extra accuracy at 6-star ascension, they just changed it to resistance. Kind of a nothing change, to be honest. And it's interesting that they even thought about changing that. This kit is, heavily updated, but it really depends on how hard this guy hits. His A1, A2 got multiplier changes, and his A3 got a pretty big rework, like for the better, of course, but we have to see if this guy can actually hit. I really doubt it. He's coming in here with sub 1500 base attack. He has a little bit of crowd control, which is kind of nice, obviously for waves and stuff. So for the orcs, maybe kind of helpful. His kit might actually be good enough just to use, right? Like he has an A1 decreased defense, basically irresistible. The fear is kind of nice. Decreased accuracy is kind of nice. And then, of course, he has the big hit on the A3 with the reset. So he could be usable maybe for faction wars now, just for a damage dealer. But if you have like Crocat and Shayak, then faction wars for damage is not a big deal at all. Danag just probably wouldn't even really get used in that spot. Maybe as a secondary damage dealer behind Crocat if you have Crocat. But still, pretty good update to his kit overall, at least on paper. So we'll have to see how well he performs after the buff goes live. So that's going to be it, guys. So we got two balance changes here to Vergumkaar and Danag Skullreap. I think both of the changes are actually pretty good, especially for Vergumkaar. Both his A2 and A3 got significant buffs to make them very, very viable. Danag, he's a damage dealer. It's hard to say. If he hits super hard, then yeah, it's going to be pretty good. But he's not going to be like shaking up arena or anything like that. It's just going to make him a little bit more usable for like faction wars and stuff. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the update for this month's balance changes. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys have Vergumkaar or Danag? Personally speaking, I might actually take Vergumkaar out and try him out, but my Lizardmen actually pretty decent. Like we have Pytheon for cleanses. Don't necessarily need them for decreased defense. Like if you have Dracomorph, for example. But I think Vergumkaar would probably see more use for more people in general. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments below if you guys are feeling out these balance changes. If you guys are excited to pull out some of these champions to test out, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching till the end, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.